the things that make a good barrister are the ability to listen, to absorb information that you're receiving from your client, but also to be able to gauge what a positive outcome is for the client. And that's not always ending up in a courtroom. So it's about being able to consider what those options are for a client when they come in to you, and what those options that may be available to the client. It may be mediation, arbitration, it may be court. There may be only one resolution to that, but it is about being able to listen to what the client actually wants and what their positive outcome is for them. The other thing that makes up that's a very positive quality within a barrister is the ability to take on vast quantities of information, absorb it, and be able to pick out what's vitally important from the information that they've read and pick up on legal points as they go through. We're looking to absorb, to analyse the law, to look at the law in particular areas, but also to look at the facts of a case, and it's being able to really be able to quickly assess where the positives are and where the minuses are.
I think there are different opportunities for different people, different types of people. So at the bar, you'll find I have colleagues who are introverts, I have colleagues who are extroverts, and I have colleagues who are both. And I would consider myself to be both sometimes, that there's a very performative extrovert aspect to being a barrister, as we imagine being in court, in our gown, in our tabs, and presenting something in a almost theatrical manner, but in a presentation manner. But there's also a very introverted and reserved side where you're researching and enjoying the quiet and the reflection and the research and delving into a subject. So I think it really fits lots of different personalities, and it might not always be maybe a quiet person might think, well, being a barrister is not for me because that's for extroverted people, but it's not always the case. And some of the best colleagues that I have and the most successful colleagues are colleagues who are quiet, who are introverted. So I think that's something that maybe I wasn't really aware of before coming to the bar myself.
3 traits that instinctively come to mind about what skills or traits are required for a barrister. The 3 that I would think of are being a really good listener, being really curious, and also humility. And it's really thinking about the importance of listening. You can only be effective if you understand the issue that a client is facing. And you can only get to a resolution of that particular matter by being curious, not just in asking the right questions, but also using your skills, your research skills, to try and find a solution to the problem. And then also humility is incredibly important, because it's always about the client. It's always about the person you're appearing for, whether they're a defendant, and while you're their advocate, your focus needs to be on achieving a solution for your client.
When you practice as a barrister, whether it's in the law library or as an employed barrister in-house, I think what you learn is that there are many different types of barristers. The personalities can be different, and I think the profession itself is very wide in terms of the type of work that you do, and the type of talents that people have can vary depending on the subject matter and the type of law that they practice in.